In the world of football, inspiring stories of footballers often start from youth academies, but this man has a different career path. He started his journey from working in a factory and making his professional debut at the age of 25 to becoming Premier League champion and top scorer a few years later. Well, this is the inspiring story of Jamie Vardy. Jamie Vardy was born on the 11th of January 1987 in Sheffield, South Yorkshire, England. His biological father left the family when Vardy was still a baby. His mother later married Phil Vardy, and he took his stepfather's surname. Vardy grew up in a working-class family. His stepfather was a crane worker, and his mother worked in a lawyer's office. Growing up in the Hillsborough area and from a football-loving family, Vardy was a fan of Sheffield Wednesday, where he idolized striker David Hirst. Because of this, Vardy has dreamed of becoming a professional footballer since childhood. Jamie Vardy's football journey began far from the glamorous stadiums of the Premier League in the bottom leagues of English football. Vardy's early career was marked not by prestigious youth contracts or early fame, but by rejection and resilience. Vardy attended the youth academy at Sheffield Wednesday, but was released when he was 16 because he was too small. In fact, when he was released from his boyhood club Sheffield Wednesday, he gave up on being a professional footballer altogether. This dashed his hopes. He was devastated because the club he loved didn't want him anymore. Jamie became very disenchanted with football. He had 5 months out of the game. He didn't know what to do and where to go. It's like a lot of kids released from academies. They are living the dream and don't know what to do until suddenly it's taken away from them, said Len Curtis, chairman of Wickersley. Determined not to give up, the same year after he was released, he signed a contract with Stocksbridge Park Steel's reserve team, an amateur team from England's 7th Division, earning £30 a week. His salary was so low that he had to work as a technician making medical splints in a factory called True Life, and played football on Sundays for Stocksbridge Park Steels. The grueling 12-hour shift in the factory, combined with a passion for playing football, whatever the level, shows Vardy's dedication and love for the game. Playing at Stocksbridge is a challenge like no other. It's at the top of a hill, and there's all sorts of weather, both rain and snow. Psychologically, the first thing you have to deal with is just getting up there. Playing against men up there, it toughens you up, said Steve Adams, the club's former youth team manager. After working his way through the reserves, he made his first team league debut under manager Peter Rink-Cavage in 2006. His real breakthrough came under manager Gary Merrow during the 2007-2008 season. In 7 years, Vardy scored 55 goals in all competitions for Stocksbridge and helped his team win the Sheffield and Hallamshire Senior Cup and promotion to the Northern Premier League in 2008-2009. After his impressive performances with Stockbridge, many Football League teams were interested. In 2009, he spent a week on trial with Crewe Alexandra, but the move did not materialize. He also turned down a short-term contract with Rotherham United, which he refused as he did not want to leave his full-time job at the factory, and only to be told he was not needed at Rotherham at the end of the season. While playing for Stocksbridge, he received a penalty for assault following an incident outside a pub, and had to play with an electronic tag attached for 6 months, while a curfew also restricted his playing time with Stocksbridge Park Steels. In June 2010, manager Neil Aspin, a longtime admirer of Vardy's talents, signed him to FC Halifax Town for a fee of £15,000. I went to see him play for Stocksbridge Park Steels in a couple of evening games, but he didn't play, and I realized it was because he had been flagged down by the police and was under curfew, so couldn't be out after 6 p.m. I ended up going to a preseason game to watch it. Right away, I could see he had something. It was his speed, touch, and tenacity. I remember looking around a little nervously to see who else was there to watch him. I knew we had to sign him, said Neil Aspin. He made his debut on the 21st of August 2010 in a home game against Buxton, scoring the winning goal in a game which finished 2-1 to his new club. Vardy had a successful first season with Halifax as the club's top scorer, with 25 goals from 37 appearances, and was voted Player of the Season. He also helped Halifax secure the Northern Premier League Premier Division title for the 2010-2011 season. In the following season, Vardy started well with Halifax and scored 3 goals in the opening 4 games of the season. In August 2011, Fleetwood owner Andy Pilley was desperate. His expensive, newly promoted team started the conference season poorly. 7 points from 12 was below expectations, but Pilley's biggest worry was goals. Fleetwood only scored 3 goals in 4 matches. So, Pilley decided to reconsider Vardy's options. We considered bringing him in earlier, but the cost was quite expensive for a player at that level. But this is a season where we have big promotion aspirations. The chairman, just after the transfer window ended, decided he would write a check. Then, Vardy signed a contract on the last day of the transfer window. All the documents were handed over to me because the secretary was away. He just came to my office with his father. He wore jeans, a t-shirt, and acted nonchalant. He never seems bothered by anything. I thought it was a big deal because it was his first full-time contract. After just over a year with Halifax, Vardy signed for Conference Premier club Fleetwood Town for a transfer fee of £150,000. Vardy's move to Fleetwood means he has to leave home for the first time. He ended up sharing a house with 4 of his teammates. We had a game that evening against York at home that we wanted him to play in. We arranged for him to go to a local hotel to relax, eat, and unwind, said Andy Pilley. On the same day he completed his transfer to Fleetwood, he made his debut in a 0-0 draw at home to York City. Vardy didn't take long to adjust. He scored his first goal in a 3-2 win at Kettering, 3 more goals in the next 2 games, and then, after a suspension following a red card, he scored 19 goals in his next 27 games. He scored a total of 27 goals in the process and won November's Player of the Conference award. After his impressive display with Fleetwood, in the January transfer window, Ian Holloway, Blackpool manager who is Fleetwood's local rivals, made a £750,000 bid for him, which Fleetwood rejected, holding out for £1 million and a loan back to the club. Pilley told Vardy he couldn't leave because he had work to do. Instead, he raised his salary and promised his record signing that if someone matched his offer at the end of the season, then the deal would be done. At the end of the season, Vardy helped Fleetwood win the conference title and first promotion to the Football League. Vardy's 31 league goals saw him finish the season as the top scorer in the Conference Premier. I think it's fair to say he was the best Fleetwood had at that time and probably the best they ever had. He is a gem, he showed promise from the start, and has all the attributes to succeed in football at the highest level. However, he has a slight weakness, namely his temper. So you have to let him show his instincts, maybe guide him along the way, but he's just someone you have to let go of and say, go and do your best, said Steve McCauley, former Fleetwood Town manager. In the summer transfer market, Vardy received many offers from several clubs, but Leicester have beaten several other clubs to get Vardy's signature. Leicester's faith in him and a visit to the home of Sheffield Wednesday legend and Leicester manager Nigel Pearson may have helped tempt him to choose the Foxes. On the 17th of May 2012, it was announced that Vardy would sign for Championship club Leicester City on a 3-year deal until June 2015 for a reported fee of £1 million, potentially worth up to £1.7 million with add-ons, making Vardy the first non-league player to be sold for more than £1 million. The switch to the King Power Stadium represents a 3-division jump for Jamie Vardy. It was his first experience of playing professional football at a club looking to return to the Premier League. On the 14th of August, Vardy made his professional debut at the age of 25 for Leicester against Torquay United in the first round of the League Cup, scoring the final goal in a 4-0 win. But there were some supporters who questioned Leicester's logic when the transfer was announced, not realizing that it would go down as one of the smartest deals in football history. That criticism grew when Vardy's debut season at Leicester ended with him scoring just 4 goals in 26 league games. Vardy is honest about his time in Leicester. He wanted to leave, return to Fleetwood, and build his confidence back up. Nigel Pearson, along with his assistants Craig Shakespeare and Steve Walsh, won't let that happen. They believed in him and persuaded him to stay at the club. According to Leicester Vice Chairman Ayawat Srivadanaprabha, Vardy drank heavily every night during his early days at the club and would show up at training still drunk. The vice chairman discussed with Vardy what he wanted to achieve in life, and after the arrival of Ella, his first daughter, Vardy stopped drinking and started training more seriously from then on. The following season brought a change in Vardy's fortunes as he established himself as a prolific goal scorer in Leicester's attack as the club led the way at the top of the table. On the opening day of the 2013 to 2014 season, away to Middlesbrough, Vardy started up front. He also scored the winning goal. Vardy finished the season with 16 league goals as Leicester were promoted to the Premier League at the end of the season as champions and was named Leicester's Player of the Season at the club awards. In the start of 2014 to 2015 season, Jamie Vardy extended his contract until the summer of 2018. After missing the first 2 matches of the season through injury, he made his Premier League debut on the 31st of August 2014 as a second-half substitute in a 1-1 draw at home to Arsenal. As in the Championship, Vardy needs time to adapt to a new level. Leonardo Ulloa became Leicester's biggest signing of the summer, and the Argentinian started alongside David Nugent in the opening weeks of the season. He will have to wait until September 21st for his full Premier League debut. The visitors to the King Power that afternoon were Louis van Gaal's Manchester United. The Red Devils named a starting 11, including Angel Di Maria, Radamel Falcao, and Robin van Persie. The global TV audience came to watch Manchester United's routine win, but stayed to witness Leicester's incredible comeback. Vardy put in a stellar performance by scoring his first Premier League goal and assisting 4 others as Leicester surprisingly came back from 3-1 down to win 5-3 against Manchester United. His impressive performances throughout the remainder of April, including another winning goal against Burnley, saw Vardy nominated for the Premier League Player of the Month award. Despite only scoring a total of 5 goals in the league, Vardy was an integral part of Leicester's great escape from relegation. Jamie Vardy and Leicester City ended the 2014 to 2015 season in 14th position. In August 2015, British media published video of an incident at a Leicester casino when Vardy was filmed racially abusing a gambler of Asian descent, calling him a Jap, an English slur abbreviation of the word Japanese, that some Japanese found offensive because of the internment they suffered during World War II. After the incident, he apologized and was fined by Leicester, who put him on an education course. On the 21st of May 2015, Vardy was called up to the England national team for the first time ahead of a friendly against the Republic of Ireland and a UEFA Euro 2016 qualifying match against Slovenia. He made his debut on the 7th of June in the goalless draw against the Republic of Ireland at the Aviva Stadium in Dublin, replacing England captain Wayne Rooney for the final 15 minutes. I remember getting a call from our wonderful scout, Carl Garner, urging me to sign this kid from Halifax, and he said to me, "Mark my words, he's going to play for England." I thought of those words as Jamie raced off to make his England debut. I'm also glad that I insisted on a 6-figure clause if he played for his country when we sold him to Leicester City, said Andy Pilley, Fleetwood Town's chairman. Nigel Pearson's departure created a significant split at Leicester, and the appointment of Italian Claudio Ranieri did little to deter the bookies from giving Leicester a slim chance of being relegated. A value of 5,000 over 1 is also given for Leicester's chances of winning the title, but Jamie Vardy and his teammates are used to defying the odds. Vardy started the 2015-2016 season by scoring the opening goal as Leicester picked up a 4-2 victory at home against Sunderland. Aston Villa, Stoke City, Arsenal, Norwich City, Southampton, Crystal Palace, West Bromwich, Albion, and Watford. Jamie Vardy scored against all of them in succession. The 10th consecutive goal-scoring match in the Premier League came at St James Park in a 3-0 win over Newcastle United that put Leicester top of the table. Ruud van Nistelrooy is the only player to previously score 10 goals. The Dutchman's former club, Manchester United, is the Foxes' next target. A week later, against Manchester United, he scored again to claim his own record and receive a certificate from Guinness World Records for his achievement. I always thought I was going to score that night. I believed in it. Following his impressive performances, Vardy was named Premier League Player of the Month for October and November, becoming the 5th player to win the award in consecutive months. In a 2-0 win against Liverpool, he scored both goals, the first of which was a long-range volley described as world-class by opposing manager Jurgen Klopp. 2 years after lifting the championship trophy, Vardy helped Leicester City lift the Premier League trophy in May 2016. Jamie Vardy ended the season with 24 goals, becoming the first Leicester player to score 20 goals in the league since Gary Lineker. He was also the second highest goal scorer in the Premier League for the 2015-2016 season, alongside Sergio Aguero, and only one goal behind Golden Boot winner Harry Kane. Vardy is one of 4 Leicester players named to the PFA Team of the Year. He was later also named FWA Player of the Year and Premier League Player of the Year. "Coming from where I come from and getting to do that is something dreams are made of," said Jamie Vardy. Vardy was again called up to the England squad for the matches against Germany and the Netherlands. Vardy scored his first international goal on the 26th of March 2016, equalizing with a back heel from Nathaniel Klein's cross as a substitute in a 3-2 away win against Germany. He scored again 3 days later in a 2-1 defeat to the Netherlands at Wembley Stadium. Vardy made his tournament debut with England in England's second group game at Euro 2016, coming off the bench in the second half to score an equalizer against Wales, helping his team come from behind to win the match 2-1. During the tournament, there were media rumors of a feud between Vardy and fellow striker Rooney, which manager Roy Hodgson denied. During Euro 2016, Vardy spoke to the media about his unusual lifestyle choices as a professional footballer. He said he didn't work out at the gym, and he consumed Red Bull energy drinks and smoked snus tobacco. Vardy's controversial tweets in 2011 have become ingrained in everyone's image of him. There is a video of him smashing a FIFA 16 card against his head because he was disgusted by his rating in the game. Memes went wild. "Jamie Vardy is having a party" is a theme that never goes away. In the 2016 summer transfer window, Arsenal submitted a bid of £22 million for Vardy, triggering the release clause in his contract. Leicester offered him a better salary, and 20 days later, he agreed to a new 4-year contract. Vardy turned down Arsenal's offer because Arsenal had not promised that he would be played in his normal position, and because of the two clubs' differences in tactics, with Arsene Wenger favoring possession and Leicester favoring playing with the counter-attack. In the following season, Jamie Vardy did not start the season well. In the match against Manchester City, Vardy ended his 10-goal drought in the opening 5 minutes. He ended up scoring 2 more goals for his first professional hat-trick, which helped Leicester win 4-2, their first win in 5 league games. From Bracken Moor and Stocksbridge to the highest stage of European football. He then scored his first Champions League goal in a 2-1 away defeat to Sevilla in the first leg of the last 16 tie. In the second leg of their quarterfinal tie, he scored Leicester's equalizer against Atletico Madrid, but Leicester were still eliminated after losing 2-1 on aggregate. He ended the season with 16 goals in all competitions. In the 2017-2018 season, he made 42 appearances in all competitions and scored 23 goals as Leicester finished the Premier League in 9th place. He was also awarded the BBC Goal of the Season award for his goal against West Bromwich Albion. The following season, Jamie Vardy scored his 100th Premier League goal in a 3-0 win against Arsenal. He ended the season with 18 goals in all competitions. In the summer of 2018, he was included in England's 23-man squad for the 2018 FIFA World Cup. He rarely played during the tournament and only started in the final group stage match against Belgium as England reached the World Cup semi-finals for the 3rd time in their history. After the tournament, Vardy withdrew from the England national team and telling England manager Gareth Southgate that he did not wish to be considered for selection unless there was an injury crisis. In the following season, Jamie Vardy had a successful season in the Premier League after finishing the season with 23 goals and winning the Premier League Golden Boot for the first time in his career. 33-year-old Jamie Vardy is the oldest player to win the award, after Didier Drogba, who was 32 when he won the 2009-2010 Premier League Golden Boot. Vardy cited his late arrival in the Premier League as the main reason why he was able to maintain such longevity in football and still play intensively into his mid-30s, stating that, "My legs feel great, and people say the older you get, the more your speed decreases, but that hasn't affected it yet. Hopefully, because I'm coming into the game later, it means I have more time." Starting the 2020 to 2021 season, Jamie Vardy signed a new contract with Leicester City until June 2023. In a 2-1 win against Sheffield United, while celebrating his goal in the last minute, Vardy slid in and smashed the corner flag. Vardy then signed the flag and gave it to Fox's Pride, Leicester's LGBT+ support group. In the 2021 FA Cup final, Jamie Vardy started as Leicester beat Chelsea 1-0 and helped Leicester win the FA Cup for the first time in their history. By playing in the final, Vardy became the first player to play in every round of the competition, including the preliminary round. Vardy finished the season with 17 goals in all competitions. In 2020, 442 listed Vardy as one of the best strikers in world football due to his elite finishing ability, speed, and positional awareness. In addition to his prolific goal scoring, Vardy is known for his high work rate, relentless running, direct approach, two-footedness, and ability to link play. He is considered an extremely fast and dynamic striker, with good positioning and an excellent sense of space in the area. These traits enable him to play on the last defender's shoulder, time his runs to beat the defensive line and stretch opponents, which, combined with his pace and clinical finishing, makes him a threat on counterattacks, which suits the style of Leicester City. The following 2 seasons, Vardy had a bad season with Leicester, and the worst was the 2022 to 2023 season, when Leicester had to struggle in the relegation zone. In the midst of Leicester City's battle to steer clear of relegation in the 2022-23 season, he emphasized that eluding relegation would stand as the pinnacle accomplishment of his career. Nevertheless, Leicester City faced relegation after ending up in the 18th position on the league table and becoming the second former champion of the Premier League era to be relegated. I am absolutely heartbroken, devastated for the owner, fans, and everyone at the club, he admits. Vardy was part of the team that brought Leicester back to the Premier League after a decade away from the top flight and will look to help Leicester get back there 10 years after their last promotion. Despite Leicester City's fall from grace in recent years, Vardy has remained an influential figure in the dressing room. In the 2023 to 2024 championship season, 37-year-old Jamie Vardy played a big role in Leicester's recent success in the championship after scoring 20 goals and scoring twice in a 3-0 away win against Preston, sealing the 2023 to 2024 EFL Championship title for Leicester City and sent them straight back to the Premier League. Well, that's Jamie Vardy's story, a story about never giving up, no matter where you start or the obstacles you face. From factory worker to Premier League champion, Vardy's journey is a reminder that late bloomers can achieve extraordinary success. Talking about never giving up, you will be amazed by the inspiring story of Sadio Mane, who grew up in a remote area in Senegal and faced seemingly impossible odds to become one of the best players in the world.